Good evening. Okay. Uh, where's Ashley? Okay, right here. At the beginning, we're gonna show you 2.57 minutes of the our laboratory, so that you know what we do here on campus. Uh, Ashley, you wanna come here? And she's an excellent lab manager. I hope I bring in a lot of money to keep her here. Please.
Okay, hi everyone. I wanted to play a video about our sensory lab and kind of show what we do, some of the research that we work on.
In the Sensory Analysis Center in the LSU School of Nutrition and Food Sciences on LSU's campus, products can be prepared, tasted, tested, and evaluated in a state-of-the-art, well-equipped facility. The center provides consultation, sensory services, and education to food and non-food industries. Services include sensory evaluation, shelf life testing, and consumer research on flavor, texture, appearance, acceptance, or product liking of foods, ingredients, personal care, pharmaceutical products, fragrances, textiles, or paints.
We can help the company determine if products are different, if the products are acceptable, or which one they would prefer more or like more, and which one they would purchase more often.
The center is outfitted with a sensory booth that seats 16 consumer testers. It has 2 conference rooms which can be used for consumer panels and descriptive analysis. One includes a one-way mirror for observations. The center also has 2 kitchens.
The first is our commercial kitchen, which is actually a DHH inspected facility, and we have pretty much anything a company would need in order to prepare their product.
The second kitchen is a demonstration kitchen that allows a company to prepare a product in front of an audience to get consumer feedback on food preparation. The sensory booth has computer ballots at each station, and products are passed through a hatch. The room has negative air pressure, which quickly removes odors from the room. Lighting at each station can be adjusted to change the color of the product being tested. The Sensory Analysis Center is amassing a database of consumer testers. Companies looking to test products based on certain demographics can pull from the database to gather a panel that meets their requirements. The center is also developing a group of highly trained panelists who can provide a detailed profile of product characteristics based on texture, flavor, aroma, and appearance.
If consumer determine that the 2 products are different, we want to know how different they are. And this is what we call the descriptive analysis, when we train human to be a machine to quantify intensity of the sensory attribute.
Equipment at the Sensory Analysis Center can also determine properties of products. A viscometer, colorimeter, electronic tongue, and texture analyzer can give companies insights into different attributes of their products.
We also have a lot of different instrumentation that we can help to test the physical and chemical properties of food.
Companies interested in sensory services can contact the center to develop a testing plan and get a cost estimate. Costs at the Sensory Analysis Center tend to be considerably less than a private sensory center. Costs vary depending on the types of tests required and number of products to test.
Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about what I do for the Sensory Services Lab. Basically, we work in 2 different areas, the research, figuring out sensory methodology and applying that research to different sensory techniques, as well as product development. And what I work in is with food companies or other companies that want consumer testing. If you've ever seen the food channels where you've seen people taste testing, that's what they commonly call it, that's what we do for food companies. So I don't know how many of you have ever walked by Thoreau Hall by the new Animal and Food Science Labs and been flagged down to come and taste a product. Probably several of you have. That's our group. That's what we're doing. We're testing different things. And normally when we do a test, we're just looking at any demographic. We don't usually have any certain target audience that someone is looking for. But about a year and a half ago, a company came to us and they were doing a prepared meal kit, kind of like a boxed meal. And they said, can you do this test for us? And we said, yeah, of course. And they said, okay, well, we need this demographic. We need women, age 35 to 45, who make at least this income, who are the primary grocery shoppers for their household, and buy this type of product at least once a month. Can you do that? And we said, No, we don't have the database. And so this is where I come in. If you notice on your table, we have these little magnets here. It says Tiger Tasters Wanted. And so what we're doing is developing a database around the Baton Rouge community. So if a company comes and wants a certain demographic, we can say, yes, we can do that. And right now we have about 600 people on our database. We're looking to get about 3,000. So ideally, we only have to call people in maybe once or twice a year. And we do try to be flexible for anyone who's ever tried to get on campus with the gates. It can be difficult sometimes, but we offer tests between 4 to 6:30, and then on weekends if necessary. So we try to be really flexible to make it easy for you to come in. So there's a QR code on here. If you don't have a QR code reader on your phone, just contact me or Dr. Witoon, or we're on Facebook, Tiger Tasters. You can search LSU Ag Center Sensory Services Lab. We would really appreciate it if you go in and fill in a quick screener survey. If you do, I'll send you a longer survey where we actually ask for your demographics. It'd be very much appreciated. Most of the tests are only 5 or 10 minutes, and it's a lot of fun. Most people enjoy it. The other thing on your table, one of our graduate students is doing a survey on consumer opinion of edible insects. And so he needs, I think, 1,000 people to take this survey, and so we would really appreciate it if you do this survey as well, and if you have any questions about that survey in detail, you can see us afterwards. So that's about all, but if y'all have any questions, just let us know. All right, thank you.
That's an insect. Okay, thank you, Ashley. Let me see, you can go back. Well, that one will be eaten soon. Okay, all right. I try to make this a very interactive, so I'll throw in some questions from time to time, and I'll pay attention to this side as well, and also on this side. Okay, so now you know that we, the LSU Ag Center Sensory Services Lab, exist on campus. You know what we do. So please sign up. We don't want to call you guinea pigs. We want to call you tiger testers, right? So an upgraded panel for us. Sometimes we don't pay you to come, but please sign up. Now, my goal is, the topic for my talk is the science of yum. So in about 30 minutes, I hope to convince you that we can use our knowledge about sense of taste to make better food, healthier food, okay? The first slide, this is the sense of taste. It's probably the most heavy with a lot of science, but after that gonna be something fun for you, okay? Now, how it works, okay? First, sense of taste is one of the 5 basic human senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. We all use all these 5 senses when you eat, when you make decision if you want to buy food product, if you want to repeat your purchase, okay? So how it works, first you have to eat something, right? So the taste compound and the chemical stimuli must first get dissolved in your saliva, all right? And then, because of that, it will come into contact with the taste buds, the thousands of taste buds on the surface of your tongue, okay? And each one convert the taste interaction into electrical message. Then it will get transmitted into your brain. In your brain, there are 3 parts. One is dealing with the consciousness of the taste perception. Another one's dealing with the emotional quality of taste. I don't like it, or I loved it, okay? Just like insect, I'm afraid of that. The third part is about the memory of taste. So you know what it is. Like, one of you guys said, I cannot differentiate between sourness and bitterness. Talk to me later. All right, so all this together help you interpret what you just ate, like insect. All right? So that's too much science for now. So let's put that aside. You can learn more by Googling something. All right, now let's talk about this. I know that a lot of you participated to get to know if you're a super taster. Okay, now the question is there a gene for liking broccoli? I saw a bunch of kids, they would go to mommy. It's like, mom, I don't like green vegetable. I don't eat raw broccoli. Many moms probably give up, whatever. But some would do this. Hey, let's try this. So she would take a bottle of salad dressing, add on top of this green vegetable or broccoli. That dressing happened to have bubblegum flavor. So what happened? The kids would eat it because you masked the greeny bitterness of the broccoli. So, is there a gene for disliking raw broccoli? No, right? But there's a gene that linked to the bitter taste receptor. Okay, we call that TAS2R38. That's going to be on the quiz today. But who cares? I don't. Okay. Next. Are you a super taster? I'm not so serious about what you did today because I should have told you do not eat, drink coffee, orange juice, or smoke at least 30 minutes before you show up because that's going to screw up the result. But we'll tell you what happened. Okay? For those who did not participate because you were afraid of those little piece of paper, it's okay. You can do it at home. All you need to do is dye your tongue with blue color and then have a small piece of ring. You can cut the paper, a 4 millimeter diameter, put on the surface of your tongue. Okay? And then use the magnifying glass and then count the number of pink dots. Okay. Now, if you can get more than 30 pink dots, you are potentially a super taster. Can you do that? All right. Who are these people? How many of them? Actually, one of you guys asked me that. By guesstimate, about 25% of the US consumers, they are considered super taster. 25% under taster. 50% are normal taster. Okay. Female more than male are likely to be super taster. Woman, you should be happy. Asian, me. Who else? African American. They are more likely to be super taster. All right? The question is, being a super taster is good or bad? Let's talk about the bad side. Okay. They are more sensitive to bitter taste. So they don't like raw vegetable. It's bitter. Okay. But do you know that the green vegetable, what make it bitter? The bioactive compounds such as polyphenols. That's a big word. Dr. Loso is sitting here. He knows what it is. It's bitter. So in some study, scientists even attempt to link super taster to heart disease, colon cancer. Do you have polyps because you didn't eat vegetable? So that's the bad thing about being super taster. Not 100% though. What else? Because they are sensitive to bitter taste, they consume more salt because salt suppress bitter taste. So that may be another reason that linked them to heart, kidney disease. These are not good stuff. On the bright side, okay, super taster tend to be non-smoker, non-coffee drinker. They don't like bitter taste. They also do not like fat taste. Fat has a taste. Okay, the scientific name for fat taste is oligogustus. That's a big name. Fat tastes what? Bitter and sour. Now, because of that, people think that Supertaster, maybe they are slimmer because they don't eat fat. They eat less sugar too. Okay. They require less amount of fat and sugar to get the same satisfying effect. So that's good. Right? What else? All right, so now let's talk about taste. You guys know that there are 4 basic taste perception. You know about bitter taste, sweet, sour, and salty. By the way, if you're a high school teacher, biology teacher, and you're teaching your student, hey, here's the tongue map, forget about that. It's not true anymore. Don't teach wrong stuff, okay? In the old days, scientists believe that receptor for sweet, that's number 4, sour, number 2, salty, number 3, and for bitter taste, number 1. These are where the receptor located, but it's not true anymore. Receptors are everywhere on the surface of your tongue, on your palate, upper throat, even in your gut. Okay? But there are more than 4. Actually, 3 more, 7. Can you guess what they are? Anyone? Umami, very good. Who said that? Dr. Beck gonna give you a prize, not me. Umami. Okay. Can you name one umami substance? Don't tell me mushroom. I show you that. What's in the mushroom? Anyone? Soy sauce. Let's narrow it down to a chemical. MSG stands for what? You pass. Now let me ask you this. 1 unit of monosodium glutamate imparts or provide how many % of sodium? Ooh, fail. 12%. Okay, in a molecule. Is it safe to eat? Yes, it's on the GRAS list. GRAS, not green grass. Generally regarded as safe, according to FDA. So it's safe. How many of you like Chinese food? Ooh, okay. What happened to you after you finish your meal? You feel thirsty? What did you say? Get hungry more. That's not what I'm getting to. So maybe you feel like you're thirsty, itching, tingling tongue, get some sweat, feeling nausea, oh, you want to vomit? Okay. We call that the Chinese restaurant syndrome. Oh, it's a scientific term, But if you go to Italian restaurant, you'll get that too. But it's safe. How much do you have to ingest to get that syndrome like that? In a single dose of 5 grams, which you will get that from a meal, especially buffet, you will get that. Okay. Will it kill you? Eventually, yeah. Everybody die, that's good. But in one study, it said you have to take 18 grams MSG per kilogram body weight. So how much you have to eat to die? That's a lot. Okay. Now let's stop about that. What else? 6 and 7. That's the new one, calcium me. Calcium with the Y. It's the bitter taste from the tip of green vegetable. Okay? So how different is this bitter one from the previous one? The scientists discovered 25 bitter taste receptor, 25 different kinds of bitterness. Okay? But bitterness is not always bad, right? If I want to eat bitter melon, I want it to be bitter. So I want my receptor to be good. Next one, fat taste. I told you it's bitter and sour, very unpleasant. Let's talk a little bit more about sense of taste, some unique characteristics of sense of taste. Okay, the first one is it is analytical. What does it mean? When you mix sweet and sour, you still get sweet and sour soup. Hot and sour, you get hot and sour, but hot is not taste. Hot is a chemical sensation. Okay, for color, blue and yellow, you get green. What does this tell you? So a taste mixture, okay, does not produce a new taste sensation. Nor does it cancel out the original taste. When you have sweet and sour, you get sweet and sour. However, a mixture can enhance or can suppress the overall taste quality. Right? Let me give you an example. I'm not promoting the soft drink, but for diet product, if you mix two different sweeteners, like this one, aspartame and L-sulfate potassium, you will get what we call the synergistic effect. It gives 35% sweetness enhancement. It's good for the company, right? Because they can put less, get the same sweetness effect. Now, for Supertaster, we talk so much about these people. Okay? If you only have one sweetener, let's say aspartame, the kind of blue package. Okay? If you buy that, you remember what is blue, what is pink, what is yellow, what is green, right? Okay. Now, if you only have aspartame, it gives you some kind of bitterness aftertaste. So Supertaster may not really like that. Okay, that's why you mix the 2 or 3 of them. Now, so we talk about synergistic effects. What's the opposite of this? Anyone? Not depression, but suppression. Okay, who dislike grapefruit? Raise your hand. You, why? Just quiet. Anyone dislike grapefruit? You, why? It's bitter. You think you're super taster? Maybe. Okay. But you still eat it? You don't. I want somebody who dislike grapefruits but still eat it. Who? Okay, how do you eat that? So you cut half. You clean it, you cut half, and what do you do with that? Okay. Anyone add something on top of that? Yes? I heard sugar, salt. These are bad. But to show you the unique characteristics of sense of taste, we use salt to suppress bitter taste. So it's less bitter. How about this? Sour pineapple. Okay, you add salt. Why? Because salt suppresses sourness and also bring out some sweetness. Okay? So what do we learn so far? You know that we can manipulate sense of taste. And should we do that? I need to hear yes or no. Yes. Okay. Why? Don't read my slide. It's like I put my last name on the exam and then I asked him to print my last name for 5%. So we can do this. We can manipulate sense of taste. Now let's talk about salty taste and bitter taste a little bit more. Okay? And that links to Supertaster. I'm sure that more than half of the people in this room love salt. Okay? Salt makes food tasty. You cannot live without salt. Okay? But it has a unique name, a silent killer. It will kill you. How? Okay? I'm glad I don't see a bottle of the salt on the table, but try to remember my face. Every time when you want to sprinkle salt on your plate, the first one tastes good, tastes really good. But am I dying? Dying soon. Dying sooner. And sooner. So please stop doing that. I hope I'm not scare you. So it's a silent killer. Why? On average, US consumers consume 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, compared to 2,300 milligrams of sodium recommended for normal people. 1,500 milligrams of sodium for those people who have some kind of disease like heart and kidney diseases, or special populations such as African American. Don't feel sorry for that because you set a very low standard, right? 1,500 milligrams of sodium. But how much of that, if I want to translate it into a teaspoon, how much of the 1,500 milligram of sodium is about a quarter? You good, but it's about 3/4. 1,500 milligrams of sodium, about 3/4 of teaspoon of salt. But you people, half of you people, or 1/3 of you people, consume about 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So much. You don't believe me?
I don't eat that much, I know that.
You are exceptional. Now, I'm going to throw in a question. Tell me, what is the number one food item on the top 10 list of food giving you sodium? A lot of sodium. Bacon. I will start talking, keep repeating until I hear the right answer. I heard somebody said bread and roll. We'll get to that. Soup, one of the top 10. But number one is bread and rolls. Why? Where's the sodium coming from? Baking soda, leavening agent. It doesn't taste salty, but it has a lot of sodium. Okay, who drink vegetable juice? Commercial juice, famous, I can't say the name. Yes? Okay. The original recipe, 8 fluid ounce bottle, give you 640 milligrams of sodium, and that is 27% of recommended amount. I'll leave you a bit of room to eat something else. Who loves soy sauce? Okay. you, Allison, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, how many packets of soy sauce you use? Sometimes I saw somebody with 3 packets and keep pouring on the fried rice. Remember my signature. Tastes good. And then eventually, please stop, right? How many? 1 or 2? 1 package of that contribute to, not to be exact, but about 879 milligrams of sodium. 30, yes, so good first, remember? And then dying slowly. It's 36% of sodium recommended per day. One spoon, 16 grams. You get 3. That's 108%. Lucky you. But why so much? Now I'm going to get to ma'am, you. You said processed food. Yeah, very good. 75% of sodium in your daily intake come from processed food, retail food products. You guys don't have a choice. You just eat whatever. 15% from sprinkling the salt. 15%. Okay. 10% is the natural salt. That's a lot. Think about how much you eat, sodium you take each day. US FDA has attempted to remove salt from a GRAS list. GRAS, again, not green grass, is the generally regarded as safe list. Why? Since when? Since November 2007, 11 years ago. Well, of course, food industry may not be happy about that. Okay, why is that? Why FDA is trying to do that? 1/3 of the US population are suffering from high blood pressure. A fancy word is hypertension. It's a leading cause of heart disease, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease. 800,000 people die every year from this kind of disease. 2.5 million people, no, 2.5 million deaths could be prevented around the world each year if the sodium consumption is at the recommended amount, which is, this is the quiz. Say it again.
2300 to 1500 or 1500 to 2300?
Very good. Not 3,400. And look at the number for the healthcare expenses. Too much. Okay? So what should we do? We start with here and at home. Children, you can blame your parents because they've been feeding me salty and sweet. It's not genetic. Is it? So, what can we do? Cut down salt. Is it working? I don't know. Let's imagine this. I'm going to a grocery store. I spot reduced sodium soy sauce, 40%. I purchase a bottle. Start cooking, but I keep adding until I'm happy with my salty taste. It's really useful. That's ironic, right? Now, sea salt. Sounds good. It has less sodium. Because of that, it's not that salty. The same concept. You keep adding until you're happy. Okay? Remember this. So it may not work that well, okay? It takes time because stepwise sodium reduction, okay? You can do that. People can learn to love less salty food. Okay. Don't fight. How about using something else, not sodium chloride, salt substitute? Okay. And you can buy that from the grocery store. It's a little bit more expensive. Okay, the most common salt substitute is potassium chloride. But what's the problem with this guy? It doesn't. It tastes salty, but less salty compared to regular salt. But when you use too much of that, and you're not willing to get used to the taste of potassium chloride, what happened? When you use too much of that, about 35% in the food formulation, it's get bitter, not better, right? Bitter. And then also the metallic aftertaste. Do you know what metallic aftertaste is? What is it? Who said that? You said that. Sounds, Go buy a canned tuna, open it, and smell it. Okay, don't eat it. So you get the metallic aftertaste. We're almost done, but I would like to promote the work in my lab. Okay. I'm going to have to stop now, but I'm going to be around if you want to ask questions. And with that, thank you so much. And I really have to thank the Office of Research and Economic Development for inviting me and Ashley and my team to be here. I don't mind coming next year if you promise to bring more friends and family to be a tiger tester. Thank you.